I'm the voice, and this is Divi Community Updates, episode 23. And I've got Rob, and I've got Neegs. How's it going, guys?
It's going
Pretty
good.
good. Hey,
You guys
this
got to be a little
time
bit more excited.
I went together.
Yes. All right. So, welcome back to another episode. And I guess we got some things to talk about today. Markets, SEC, Bitcoin,
Yes,
and then
markets.
some specifically Divi related stuff. And that's it. Let's I think we've got something special at the end, a new creation from Voice. And that's it. Let's get started. Okay, who's starting?
That's right. So first of all,
dead air.
yeah. So first of all, we've seen that what is happening in the market, right? Like Trump is kind of playing with the market apparently, and so it's kind of very difficult to evaluate what is coming, what's going to happen. However, kind of linked to it, BTC now hit back 86,000, but we really don't know how long it will last until the next tariff announcement, I guess. But yeah, I think a lot of things are happening. I think crypto is not the only thing, right? So,
yeah,
I guess it makes sense for some people that those things are happening. I'm not American, so obviously I'm not the beneficiary of those policies, but I understand.
That's an interesting choice of words.
I'm surprised he's not American. I don't know. I mean, when did this happen?
When did what happen?
When did he become not American?
Who? Neegs?
No, I'm kidding. I'm just having fun.
Like when he was born.
When he was born.
I think that's when it happened.
Yeah.
I just thought he had a funny accent. There you go.
Oh, is that what it was? Yeah, he was like from some weird town.
Some weird town in
Alaska or something.
That's the best compliment I heard about my English. Thank you.
Yeah. Some weird town.
It's somewhere in America. It's much better than I thought.
He's from Louisiana.
Yeah, no, definitely not that one. It could be. He is French. I mean, it does make sense actually. So I've got two comments on this. One is rumor mongering, and one is an observation. Because I'm not an economist. I generally think tariffs are taxes, and I think taxes are bad. That's me in particular. But the one thing that I will notice that it is remarkable that the actions of one person can affect the planet in such a way. So for me, it doesn't matter who you're voting for. Like, the system is the problem, that there's so much power centralized in the whims of a single person that everyone suffers around the planet. If those are, if they're bad moves or good moves, volatility is good for some people, right? If you know what's coming and you work on Wall Street, volatility is awesome. People are going to make a ton of money. But for the rest of us who don't do that, it hurts. It's not great to see. And so that's my observation. Now I will say, here's my rumor mongering. I'm only relating what I hear when I go to events, but people, more than once I hear that people are expecting that the tariff kind of, like, I don't know if you want to call it war or if you want to call it playground, will be ending towards the end of the summer. And maybe we'll get normalcy back. A lot of people are expecting crypto to complete the bull run that everybody's expecting. So that's my rumor mongering. That doesn't come from me. I don't have any brilliant reason why that is like that. But that seems to be a lot of consensus in people who are at events. So those are my two comments on that, or three.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know enough about economics either, but the intent of the tariffs isn't just to tariff. The intent of the tariffs, at least as is spoken about, maybe not so much on one side, is to level the playing field and or apply sort of a penalty for not taking care of things the way you should have, which, speaking about drugs and all those kinds of things and cartels and that. So I mean, there's many levels where tariffs may not even exist if people, let's say, bought more or reduce their tariffs or stop the flow of drugs. You know what I mean? So I don't know if it's overall, I think it's for the positive of everyone. It just looks and feels bad to so many people. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, there's two
So,
things on
So
that. One, like I know the theory really is to bring manufacturing back home, like so that it's cheaper to make products here than it is to import products. Like that's kind of like the long play on that.
sure.
Um, but the issue really is in the same way socialism makes everybody kind of equal and poor.
Mhm.
Like so tariffs kind of like make everything more equal and expensive, right? So like if you
Sure.
tariff something so that it raises the price 100%, that gives local producers this kind of band gap of space to raise their prices into. They can still be cheaper and raise their prices. And
Mhm,
so
mhm,
I don't think it works the way it's the same thing with Pell Grants when they put those things out. Like,
mhm.
colleges just raise their prices. It's like all
Sure.
of these things I don't think have the effects that they're intending. I get the rationale. I just in general, government does a bad job of kind of being the arbiter of how things should be. And things
so
should just be.
in that debate, I think that I can actually bring a very unique point because I
Do it.
live in Switzerland. And
Mhm.
Switzerland is the country that has the most complex tariff of all countries in the world
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
all their tariffs, and they're definitely not X% across the board. Like they are actually extremely complex. Like if you want to bring a cup here, it will be one tariff. But
Mhm.
if your cup has a drawing on it, then it will be another tariff
Oh
because
my
the
god.
tariff will be based on what we produce here. So based on offer and demand, right? If there is
Yeah.
more offer than
Mhm.
demand in the country, you will have high tariff to import things, and if there is more demand than offer, then you will have low tariff to bring things in.
Yeah.
And
And
and it has
everything's
been,
expensive in Switzerland.
sorry?
And everything's expensive in Switzerland.
Yeah, no, things are
Yeah.
expensive, but
Yeah.
also wages are the highest of the world,
Yeah.
right? So in fact, people can actually afford the things that are expensive. So I don't have, I don't think this is the only thing, obviously, but I think we can see that there already have been pledges of trillions of investment in the US following
That's
those
true.
announcements. And
Yeah.
look, I'm not saying it is a good idea, but it seems that it is also the approach that is also that kind of Trump signature, going really crazy and then kind of settling down on something. Um, and I think, yeah, I think he's that kind of guy, right? When he has the power, he will try to strong arm people
Yeah.
in the position that he wants. And that's why I say beneficiary, because I think in the end, it's probably going to be beneficiary to the American
I will
people.
definitely say it's absolutely brought people to the table to negotiate something like that without a doubt.
Correct.
He's got
Yeah,
like
I think it's that. I think it's that. But
150 deals
at
to
the end
make,
of the day, it's really insane to see that because I think we, uh, like us in that call, and probably the people who are listening, are um, kind of desensitized. Yeah, desensitized. I don't know.
Yeah,
Desensitized.
you had
You got
it
it.
right. You had it
Yeah,
right.
desensitized to the situation of markets going up or down, very like crazy,
Oh,
crazy
yeah.
volatility.
Mhm.
But what we've seen is the whole crypto volatility just happened. Like what was happening with Justin Sun tweet
Yeah.
now happened with Trump tweet on a
Yeah.
much larger scale. Like in
Sure.
10 minutes, I think there is 3 times the crypto market that has been wiped out and like came back. It
Yeah.
is insane. Um, So we are
Yeah,
really
yeah,
kind of used to that now in crypto, but it is insane to see that for the whole economy of the world.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So speaking of crypto industry, so we got some clarification from the SEC, um, and well, maybe we should provide a link to it in our show notes down below. But
Sure, I can do that.
yeah, cool. Um, and so I think the three of us got kind of different things out of it. The like for me, the big one was really doubling down on the Howie test, like more clarity there, which is what we wanted. It's just they clarified it, but it looks to me like they're, and so just to be clear, we're not lawyers, we're not tax accountants, we're not any of those
Nope.
things. Yeah, and so we are learning the same way everybody else kind of learns. Um, Obviously, if you're running a project, you probably want to talk to a lawyer on this stuff. However, so for me, it looks like Howie test is fully in play, and frankly, I think they don't. You can call something utility coin, but they don't care, and they're pretty clear about it. Like it's about how you're using those coins, like for fundraising, for coins or tokens, for something that doesn't work yet. All of that kind of stuff is, I think, that is the part that got clarity,
Yeah,
and makes it so that more things are kind of like within the realm of the SEC, where we were trying to create gray areas before to not be in there. Um, with regard to, well, anyway, so that's my biggest takeaway out of that whole thing is like there's more clarity, but it's more clear that crypto projects that have their own token, that are new, have a set of disclosure to do, and they are probably securities. That's that's what I took out of that.
So this is interesting because, so first of all, it's just the ACC, right? It's not necessarily what will end up being, but that's basically their approach, how they see the regulation of crypto. Now, I didn't see as clear as you in the text that they were really targeting that. I think the window of you are investing for price appreciation or you are investing for something that you will be able to use later is still there. And so of course this whole wording in that article is really clarifying that if it is really for the investment, then you really are a security. But then yeah, I don't know if it's really complete. As you say, we're not lawyers.
Yeah.
We're actually going to ask more information to lawyers, so we'll probably be able to share that too. But in any case, it still adds a lot of important things like the communication has to be straightened out. There are a lot of elements that needs to be communicated to be like a proper project, like to do those things and be within the rules. And I think it is still a good thing because too many scams in this industry. That's
Yeah.
pretty clear.
I just want them
But
to lower the barrier. So fine, it's a security, and fine, we have to disclose all this stuff. But just make it freaking easy so that we can do this. And I don't. For me, that's not how it is. Like it just seems complicated and
so
expensive.
I've heard a lot of requests for that, and also to drop the accredited investor thing.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
if they will do that, but that would definitely open the market. And I don't think it's justified because I don't think it's protects anyone from anything. So
Right. Oh, those things? Yeah, no. It should
yeah,
just be, it should just be like what they really want is to know who's doing these things, right? So
yeah.
most regulations, whether it's the TSA or like things or like ATF, whatever, any of these things are all about making their life easier. Right? I mean, that's what all of this is. And so then make it easier. I mean, and so that's how it is. So they want to know who's in charge of the project, right? And I don't know what they're going to do for DAOs, but I think what the end result will be is like there's not going to be a thing where there's a token or whatever that is a security and doesn't have
Mhm.
somebody that they can go after if it's bad. That's really what I
It
think what the main goal is here.
This puts a nail in the coffin, essentially, of the 2016 to 2019, if we even gift 19 with ICOs, but where you issued an ERC20 or the like kind token, which was a placeholder essentially. It's not usable essentially. And you had a layer one or even an EVM chain. That is dead based
Yeah.
upon what
Yeah,
this
those are
is.
securities
There's
without a
no
doubt.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah. No question. No question.
But
So I think
to be clear, that just
that's
means you can't do it in
that's a
America.
key thing.
That's what that means. Um, and I was hoping, I think we're all hoping that the new administration would make this easier. Um, and and again, like we want to have businesses. I don't mind. I personally don't mind having a crypto business with my name attached to it because I'm not going to do
Yeah.
anything. I'm not trying to defraud anyone. What I don't want to do is spend a lot of money and time complying. That's what I don't want to do. And
Yeah.
that's the issue. And I don't know what it is. I don't have what that number is. I just know that every other industry that needs to comply with regulations like FDA, that's a minimum $500,000 to pass, the FDA just first round of stuff. It's many millions for drugs.
Yeah.
And if it's like that, they haven't done a service.
Yeah. And when I say dead, of course, what I mean is it's a security. It doesn't mean
Yeah.
it's not possible.
Right.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. So that's enough of that. So with regard to Divi, though, what do you guys think in terms of like how it affects Divi?
I don't think it does at all anymore. It's nobody's rolling
So
back in time, and
yeah,
I
I
think
think Divi
it's
is not.
based
It
upon
is
what it
a
was. Yeah.
Netherlands foundation, right? So I don't
Mhm.
think it is concerned by all that.
Yeah, and it was a different time, and I think it's already gone through its hoops, right?
Mhm.
I'm not sure how in depth, but I know it's been through multiple hoops. But there is no. It's a foundation today. There is no external company. There is no Divi Labs. There is none of these kinds of
Mhm.
things. So it is a community run project. So
And even for
yeah,
us, it's kind of hard to track, right? Like we have a contact with Jeff, obviously, who is in the foundation. But I mean, beyond that, we don't really have all the history of the legality of how things happened. But I think it's pretty clear that this project is completely decentralized today. So
correct. And
and
by the way,
I
as
don't
we
know if
mentioned, it's completely
I don't know if the
decentralized.
authorities
You're
will say
all
so, but
sorry, I know that, but I was just going to say, and by the way, now that you say that it's all decentralized, it's all open source. That means it's all open participation. You are all Divi team. You see me joke about that. So if you have anything you want to see, you have anything you want to do, you can step up to the plate and you can volunteer and do it. We will welcome you with open arms. We will help you with as much help as we can.
Yeah.
And of course, if we need something, please jump in. We are all coin holders helping one another.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's my go-to reaction now when somebody asks about getting on another exchange. Like I know it
whenever
doesn't
you get
come out,
there.
yeah, it doesn't come out super friendly, but I'm always like, yeah, go for it. Like, get us on another exchange.
Well,
We're
it's
doing
not meant
something
to
else.
be
You do that.
unkind. Yeah. It's not meant to be unkind. It is just, I think people are used to tokenized projects. Look, when something launches as a smart contract elsewhere, and even if they airdrop all these coins, what are these projects doing? Well, they're dumping all their coins, their tokens into the market upon this launch, and then they use all the ETH that they took from everyone, and then they're paying for all these exchanges to be launched. They're all getting. And the other thing is, of course, with smart contracts, what does an exchange have to do to integrate?
Yeah, yeah,
It is easier. They
right.
just
It definitely is.
plug in the smart contract.
Yeah, because
So
they're
it's
already
not like
running
it's a big
Ethereum
deal.
or whatever chain, right? But
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Hmm.
Uh, Meigs, you want to make predictions
cool.
about Bitcoin?
Yeah, yeah, I just put that on the list because it's such a difficult thing to try to predict the price in the next 2 weeks with what
Yeah.
happening on the tariff and all that. So I mean, was supposed to be in a 90 days pause. So maybe, but I guess it never holds. So we will see. But yeah, so I don't know. I'll say by the next time. So when is next video? Let's or maybe by when it
Three.
goes live. Let's see. Let's
Yeah.
say that, right? We're the
Yeah.
15th and it's going live on the 22nd. So in 1 week. I'll say 91.
Okay.
I didn't
So
check anything.
when we
Yeah.
when
Just
we
threw it
start this,
right
when this
there.
video releases as a premiere, we're hoping that it'll be 91. And again, you can join Neek's Patreon for $15 a month. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I thought I could predict like years ago, and like I lost. I know, like I now learned I can't do that. But I gotta tell you, anything this president says one way or another moves this thing up and down. Like he might say tomorrow, Trump, Holdings is buying, is now going to compete with Sailor, and then all of a sudden it'll go up, or what? Like it's so to me, it's so unpredictable. I still don't
Yeah.
understand how traders like claim that there's trends to follow in the current environment. Like this environment, it's like
It's too
tomorrow you wake
emotional.
up, it's something. Tomorrow, the next day you wake up, it's something completely opposite. Because that's how it just feels to me.
It's hyper emotion, right?
Yeah.
It is. I mean, all trading in some ways they say is technical, but what are they doing? They're following the trends in the market. They're waiting for inside information.
Yeah.
Not that they're talking about it like that, but
Right.
they're reading the news. Did they get certified? Did they pass this? Did
Yeah.
this come out and did this cure someone? Are they releasing today? I mean, it's not technical from like with a hammer and a nail. It's technical from like I analyzed the market and there was enough smiles on this side and there were sad faces on this side. Crypto is the extreme. It is like ice cold. I mean, you're like in the depths of
Yeah.
everything is just valueless to 24 hours later, you've got a mansion. You just bought an island. It's crazy. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, let's talk a bit about Divi.
Yeah, let's talk about Divi.
So
Sorry.
just an update on XeggeX. Nothing happened really there. We didn't have really news. They didn't communicate about anything changing. However, I've seen that they listed a new coin last week. So it is not much, but it looks like they're still going in that path of recovering and bringing new coins. Again, it's not a big thing, but at least it's a good sign. So what do you think? Do we lose hope on XeggeX, or is
Yeah.
everything going fine?
Yeah. I know my account is in the same condition it's been in for weeks.
Yeah, same.
And so I have an account, and there's basically nothing in it because I had everything in orders, and it's a little disappointing. And no feedback. So like when I asked for I pinged support about like, hey, how about my coins? They're like, that's not a support issue. I'm
Right.
like, so I'm definitely in the same condition I have been. I don't have any. I don't have any insight into any positive insight. For me, as for those who know, I got really burned in stake count. If you can go look that one up, and I am still here. Kind of like hoping for the best, and that's kind of where I am with XeggeX, hoping for the best. I don't see anything saying it's over. So as long as it's not over, it's still going.
I see the stake count situation, and there's only so much controls you can. There's only so much you can do in either situation, right? You can't force the hand of anybody from stake count
Right.
or the person who supposedly whatever. I'm not even going to get into it. They did on both sides. Who knows?
Yeah.
We can't force it. We can't force XeggeX either. The difference would be is from stake count is dead. XeggeX is actually alive.
Yeah, that's
There's an
fair.
exchange.
Yeah.
They're doing something. And you can see that they're working on it. They're not running away from anything. I just would like to have it happen faster. I know everyone that I've talked to has varying amounts of Divi. Some of them have other coins. I know that we've seen that some coins have been um, moved off of by owners of coins. It just seems to be that everything that was in the trading. So if you had something list, to sell, not at market, but obviously sell it,
Yeah,
In the
you
book
wanted to
order.
sell it, whatever you.
yeah,
Pardon? Yeah, in the book order, I just was not thinking clearly. I'm speaking and talking at the same time. That's not never a good thing. But you had them in the book order. If you have them in the book order, that's where they're having to do a lot of this investigation, right?
yeah.
Obviously, the person who was malicious, who attacked the account of the owner, got access, and that database is destroyed. And as we all know, since we've all become somewhat nerdly, Meeks, you can manage a spreadsheet incredibly well. But if I deleted your spreadsheet, but I had at least accounts that I could prove that were there, and I had address I could prove that there. I just couldn't show what you did in your spreadsheet clearly. So that's going to take some time. That's a database.
Yeah.
That's a
That's right,
problem.
and you're right to say that, right? Like we do have the addresses for Divi. We've seen that very tiny amounts have moved. Like I think less than 100,000, and we're
Yes.
talking about like 15 million DV on the XeggeX side. And so clearly, we've seen that those funds haven't moved. And until this is resolved, it seems pretty clear that the problem is on their database. And
Yeah.
I have no idea what they are going through. Unfortunately, they're really bad at communicating, but this is a constant with exchange, right? Especially when they're small, they they really neglect that. Like in reality, they're pretty quick for support, but that thing is definitely not something they are comfortable with. And yeah, we hope we will have news at some point, but right now, nothing much. That just those signs that it is not dead, it is moving forward, but however, on
Yes.
the resolve of the situation is not really having much progress.
All right. How about website and marketing?
Right. So the website and marketing are both completed. The website, the first stage is completed. We're also working on the bigger web page with the history of DV and all that, but we have to write that down. We already started, but it's a lot of work. But then, yes, we have all that ready. It will be ready for when the market is kind of more stable, which is definitely not the case right now. But we basically have that right we can start, we can publish it immediately whenever the market is ready. So that's, I think that's pretty good. Sorry. And then in addition to that, we actually, for those who are active in Telegram, we had someone who came in to ask for AMA. I mean, we have frequently people asking for that, and most of them actually are scam. But this person was actually a real YouTube channel, and we had a conversation with that person. It's the Infinite Crypto YouTube channel, and they proposed to do an EMA and potentially even to do some in-depth analysis of the coin and what we're doing with the side chains. And so, yeah, we had a good conversation with the
It
person.
was.
And yeah, what do you guys want to say about it? Want to say
So
something about it?
I'll let you know, guys know, if you guys don't know me, I'm super skeptical of crypto influencers. Like I really dislike them. However, when we spoke to this guy, he seemed okay. And so I would definitely be for doing this. Um, I don't think he'll give us. I don't think he will be smarmy or anything. Like we've experienced in the past. And I think an AMA is a pretty good starting point. There's some prices
I think so.
associated with this stuff, right? Right, Neeks?
That's right. That's right. So the price that they gave us initially was 750 for an AMA, and then they sent us another price list with 3,000 for an in-depth analysis and basically some more discount if we engage for a longer time. I think it will be interesting to add that to the next step for marketing. Um, Basically, as we start the marketing campaign, we will be able to see some result, and I'm sure people will be more motivated to found the next phase. And so basically, it would be interesting to add that in the mix. Um, I was also in like surprised. I mean, not completely surprised, but he was interested in what we were doing, and he was not just trying to make a buck. I think, and I
Yeah.
also
Mhm.
found that pretty good. So
Yeah.
I think
It's a little
we will
refreshing.
propose that in the
Yeah,
next in the future.
I would say this: if you've seen me write at any time in the last 6, 7, 8 years, I consider myself an anti-influencer, meaning that most of what I do is not to influence people, but it's to educate. And of course, you've seen me write it over and over again: learn and share, share and learn. In fact, that's how Neegs and I originally met. Um, that I think that influencers, when we put quotes around there, are generally in it for themselves. They're not into it for the benefit of their community. So I can say some pretty harsh things, but that doesn't mean that they are all bad. That doesn't mean that they shouldn't be self interested. But if they are slimy and only purely motivated just to get a community or a project to just give them funds and really not do any sort of investigation about the project and at least give an honest reflection or an opinion of what they understand it to be, then it doesn't benefit anyone them. So I was there with Rob and Neeks, and I think I held my tongue mostly while you guys did most of the speaking, but I felt that he was more real than some of the influencers, let's say, that we've all run into in the past. I'm
Yeah.
not saying anything other than that, but
No
I
names.
did enjoy working with him. So
Yeah.
I did enjoy
Right.
speaking with him. He seems like a normal person. That's what I would say. Now, I
Yeah.
need to watch some of his shows some more, but he seemed genuine in what he was saying.
Yeah, it
So
seems like he actually
Great.
likes this stuff. So
he
that
likes it.
yeah.
Exactly. He likes
That's
it.
right, and
Exactly.
it's a 280,000 subscriber channel. He has between 5 and 10, 15K in big episodes. So I
Yeah.
think it is interesting, and
So,
it would
so
be it would probably work with that
yeah,
person
so
moving
our
forward.
call here, our action item for everybody listening is really go watch his show. It's called Infinite Crypto YouTube.
Yeah,
And then decide for yourself if you want him to talk about Divi, and then we will
exactly.
have we'll decide if we want to pay 750 for an AMA. So that's just, and then who do you want to be on that? And then, or if we want to go further, which will cost like $3,000. And maybe there's some other opportunities there, but really like doing an AMA that'll get us out there on a show exposed to 250,000 people. I think that part is at least worth it, and we'll have to talk about the value of the other one. But yeah, so watch the show and decide if you want to be represented by him.
Gonna be awesome.
Cool,
All
and then
right, what else?
some good news. We were able to, because it was difficult, the contact to reestablish contact with the previous leadership of DV Labs, and so now we were able to reestablish that. They've been very busy doing other things, so now I think it's we're working back together. We're all positively moving forward, and one result of that is that $2,900 have been recovered from KuCoin account to the DAO wallet. So that's a great
Correct.
thing. That's twenty nine
Very
hundred dollar
exciting.
more in the bank. And we also got confirmed that they will do the necessary to transfer the patent for the votes. So
That's great.
unfortunately, we can't expect those things to happen very fast, but they will finally start the process. So we're happy that it is moving forward.
Great.
This is very important, of course, especially with the transfer of patent for mobile wallet developers. and/or a mobile wallet partner. Obviously, it's better the more third-party apps we have supporting Divi, but that feature set is key. I think it's one of the things that people are used to with Divi, and so the more we can get that and make it available to others and beneficial to everyone, by the way, doing it, that's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Right, and there are a bunch of things that we have to work with in the background that are complicated without those things being properly transferred. So hopefully, once those things are done, it will be way easier, and then we'll be able to move forward properly.
Awesome.
Cool.
Cool.
Awesome.
And then
We
last topic is about the last topic before the last.
The last topic before.
Is the treasury vote. So we had
Yeah.
this treasury vote with the two big questions, right? One was using the funds that have already been received by the treasury address to put in a staking vote so that it can be actively staking. So
Correct.
this went through at 90+% support. And then the other one was so that we can use that for the foundation and put it in the foundation account on Bitrue or other platform, so that whenever there is a result with the work we're doing, we can also make sure that the treasury is in a good position to finance other things later. So basically being able to
Correct.
convert some DV if there is some volume there. And it
Yep.
also
Yeah, to
went
help
at
us with
plus
all the other
90%.
Yeah.
help everyone, because there are needs for developers and there's needs for infrastructures that we all benefit from. So that's fantastic. That's what it's for. That's what it's for. So
That's
fantastic.
Um,
right. And so we confirmed that if anything would have to be spent, like if we want to spend it for anything, that would be another vote. So again, like
Uh-huh.
want to make sure everybody is clear on that. And
feel
I think
free
Correct.
to.
that's
Well, we'll
yeah,
probably publish the address when we move it, right, so that people can monitor it. And
Absolutely.
for
yeah,
sure.
so
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so we were talking about third parties doing things with Divi, and so
We did.
we now have an advertisement from a third party. Go
Yeah,
We
for it.
that's
do have
right.
an advertisement from a third party.
I heard he has a
Maybe
great
I'll let you
voice.
mention it. I'll let you mention it.
Okay, so today we receive DV Vote Pro. No,
Divi
so
Vaults
you
Pro.
Take
you
it away,
started a new
boys.
service and you're helping people getting votes. And so yeah, please
Correct.
tell us about what you're doing.
But first, I have to
So
say something because your accent
go
makes
ahead.
it sound like votes and not volts.
Votes.
We're not
Yeah, my
giving
bad.
away or setting up votes. We're setting up or he's setting up vaults.
Setting up vaults. Well,
Yeah,
essentially, to
bad.
make it as easy as possible, we're in votes or vaults, whatever we're doing. I have a service. It's called Divi Airbnb. It's an offering that I have, and essentially, it is I'm helping people turn off their computers. I'm helping people close their laptops. I'm helping people put their laptops in Faraday bags and putting them in the safe and still support the network and beneficially participate in the network and earn and have a cold vault all at the same time. That is a special service that I built. I built it based upon the knowledge, of course, as I received from being a beta basher, working in all of those, and of course, then offering the services with advising the desktop team, and of course, advising labs on their deployments in some of the earlier days there. So I've taken that knowledge, which is available to anyone in the core, and yeah, I have a service. It is a private group in Telegram, and there is a web page if you want to opt into me helping you deploy a vault using my service. You can just go to divivaults.pro, divivaults.pro. And my whole selling tip is that it's absolute, absolute peace of mind. There you go.
Yeah,
That's great. And
and
you
you
say
showed us
that
the
you will make a
dashboard.
video, right? Maybe you will have it ready by the time, but
Maybe
maybe not.
not. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
no,
So
I think I will make a video, which is what Rob was just mentioning right before that, which is a dashboard.
Hmm.
I think what I like is more information. And as I recall from, doing support in the community, people want more information. People want more details about what's going on. So I built a dashboard. So for those people who just totally throw out their computer because they don't have to worry about anything, they will then be able to, if they opt into the services, log into a web page and see their actual vault, its actual performance, its metrics, how many tickets it's earned, how many are active in the current lottery, how many tickets it's earned that lottery week, all of the rewards earned by day, also lottery winnings. I've made it the way I would want it, but that also means that if you do opt into my services, you're a client. If you want something, you can throw out ideas. If I have enough people who are asking for something, I can build those things in. But everything is locked down, it's all secure, it's all cold. And again, I'll say it again, it is absolute. Go on vacation, don't worry about it. You don't even have to think of what if the power goes out at my house, or what if my computer updates, what if it resets. I didn't mean for my kids to play a video game and shut it all down. You don't have to worry about any of those kinds of things. It is just absolute peace of mind.
Cool. That's great. And it is trustless. Like it's a vote. You don't own like this still in the wallet of the user. I think you didn't
Correct.
touch on that point.
Yeah, so when you vault, it's cold, and you've most likely heard that term before. It's your keys, your coins. The only addition I would add about peace of mind, it's also your freedom. And so, no matter what, your coins stay entirely in your control. You don't pass any coin ownership. Rob, you wrote a tutorial about Bob a little while back. Well, that was like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And in that exact example, Alice and Bob were vaulting together, but Bob had no access to any of her coins. What Alice had access to was Bob's computer or server in the cloud. So, exact same process. Many versions later, that was version 201 when we released and that article was written. We're now on version 3.0. So, this one uses the most advanced information we have in vaults, the most advanced optimization for the servers based upon knowledge and experience. So, yeah, it is cold. You can have absolute freedom and peace of mind.
That's great. So that's a new option for people who would like to have this peace of mind. And I mean, it is kind of similar to what Divi Labs was doing. Like, how is it different?
Well, the difference would be is that Divi Labs was integrated entirely into the desktop. And that's where we all experience some of the issues that we had before. Is if you have sort of fingers reaching into the application itself, things do not work anymore when they get disconnected. These two things are separated the way Satoshi would want them. The owner of the vault will still see rewards if they do open up their computer. It will come in as a staking vault reward in the desktop. And then if they want to see further details, they can then go to the dashboard, which is way more advanced dashboard than what was in the desktop. I want to add this though. I've made a commitment to the community. We already have community members who are vaulting with me. I've made a commitment that after so many vaults that I'm helping support, and my very small team supporting, we're going to start donating funds back to the desktop team and or the core team, depending upon who needs it most. So everybody who vaults with me, even though it is very passive, that's the key word. And you guys know I hate the word passive. It is extremely passive for you because you don't have to worry about anything. I and my team worry about those things. But from everyone who vaults, after a certain point, I'm going to donate portions of the proceeds so that some of the things that we're building, as we come up with these new features and functions, along with all the features and functions we're already planning, we may see some of these advancements that my small team is building end up benefiting everyone in the desktop.
Right.
Maybe some of the dashboard will end up in the desktop. Maybe a variation of that. Maybe it's a recipe and they bring it off in their own version in the desktop. There's a development team for that. So, in a way, everybody who participates with me is going to be giving back to the desktop team, which is going to benefit everyone. It is circular in everything that we're doing. This is an open source project, and we have to give back so we can help make it better and better and better.
You want to tell people like what it costs to do this?
Well, I mean, it's not private, so it's pretty darn inexpensive.
Mhm.
It's actually lesser expensive than it was to run a master node. So
Nice.
that's pretty shocking. So for my vaults, currently, based upon what I've negotiated for all the servers, it's going to change in the future. So I want to make sure I throw that out there. But I've got a guarantee for a goodly amount of people who will participate with me. There, if I round it up, it's about $16 per month.
Cool. Seems
Yeah.
decent. Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
I think that's great to have a new service. And you were talking about bringing back to the desktop team for the foundation, and it's really nice of
Absolutely.
you. But I think it's also great that when there are other things, like I would love other people to build other wallets, other
Yeah.
vote service, other like
100%.
whatever things. So I think that's great. I think it's a good initiative. And yes, I think we went through everything today.
I think we did.
Cool.
I think we did.
Cool.
Well,
So
I guess we'll say goodbye until 2 weeks from now.
yeah, bye bye. I don't know if it's 2 weeks, right? Because you will be going to
Oh, that's
Token
right.
2049.
Yes,
I don't
I
think
have
it'll be 2 weeks.
no,
Maybe
and
it
in
will
fact,
be, and maybe we'll record early. We'll
yeah,
see.
we'll have to see. I have actually 3 events ahead of me, which is Token 2049, Consensus in Canada, in Toronto, and then Bitcoin in Las Vegas. If anybody is in any of those areas and wants to, say hello, then contact me. Happy to
That's
meet
right.
the community.
And that'll be fantastic. I think that would be so cool if anybody was at any of those conferences and ran into
Yeah,
you. That'd be awesome.
yeah, that'd be fun.
I will also
Fun.
state that if Bitcoin is at 91,000 when this releases, I'll post the link for Neegs' Patreon. I'm just kidding. I'll stop making the joke, but
Okay.
That's right. No, it's
but that's
patreon.com/404.
404 exactly.
All right,
Oh,
bye
I have to
everyone.
go to that link now
Bye,
just to see if it
everyone.
actually turns into a 404.